Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices
All
Network.
an illegal alien has to do is sign up for his new program. It's a sham marriage or college degree. Think of this. And they can expect amnesty and taxpayer support. They want to get taxpayer support. We are supporting people that come in illegally, but our soldiers, our veterans, are dying on the streets of these horribly run Democrat cities. Our country is under invasion. We should not be talking amnesty. We should be talking about stopping the invasion instead. This is an invasion of our country. We have to seal the border. We have to let people come into our country, but they have to come in legally. We have to send Joe Biden's illegal aliens back home where they belong. We have no choice. We have no choice.
Anyway, Charlie, so obviously all the talk this morning is about these cheap fakes. With, Biden. And we were saying, Jody and I obviously talked about, because we were there. He did not need to be led off stage by President Obama. Obama just put his arm around him and they walked off stage together, But that's the election 2024, right? Just like this skydiving thing where Biden's, giving the thumbs up to some guy, was not confused, was not wandering away. But, this is going to be how it is now till November, isn't it?
I've started a pool on what drug they're going to say he was on after the debate.
Yeah. Do you think but Trump's going to show up? Where are you now? Are you 50-50?
I'm still saying he shows up. I'm still saying he shows up. Now, does he stay for the whole debate or does he theatrically walk off? That's a whole different thing.
Interesting. Yeah.
I mean, the first time Jake Tapper mutes his mic, what's he going to do?
Right.
I mean, Fernando Armandi yesterday, Charlie was saying it'd be insane if I was his campaign manager to let him on that stage with Biden, because they know the truth that, it's not the Biden they're trying to portray, but that he's sharp. And, Jody and I were saying he just came from the G7, Charlie. He flew through 9 time zones. Mm-hmm. He was sharp. He was smart. He was funny. I mean,
Yeah, and he was well shaven, unlike Jack Black. I'd be careful, by the way, of taking anything Fernand says literally, because clearly he's addled by being the world's most handsome man.
I was saying that everyone I know, even straight men like Charlie, are like, that guy.
He's handsome.
He's really handsome.
And it's ridiculous how good looking he is in person.
I know, it's terrible. He's been right here in the studio with his equally glamorous wife. But anyway, so Charlie. What was I going to say? Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It's not just the what do you call them now? Cheap fakes? Is that what we're calling them?
What we're calling them.
I just don't remember. Do you, an election where it is just a solid wall of lies? And unfortunately, as I was saying earlier when I opened the show, some of it's working, and that you have some percentage of people that think Biden is responsible for Roe v. Wade being overturned, that think Trump is responsible for getting them $35 insulin. What's your advice on how you combat that?
I'm sure, back in the day, before photography and video and everything else, I'm sure there were campaigns based, on an overwhelming, percent on lies. I mean, Jefferson's people called Adams a hermaphrodite, which was probably not true. But these guys are doing it. These guys are doing it in an era where everything is on videotape.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
There's actual proof. You can watch it. So then they have to ladle another layer of lies on the cake to tell you that the video's fake.
Right.
Boy, there was a lot of rhyming in what I just said.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, there was.
It's like you're a writer or something.
I thought you were rapping, so I was just going to, sit back and let you.
No, but, I mean, to me, the classic one this week was the church in Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kellyanne Conway said there were 8,000 people in a black church.
Right.
First of all, there aren't that many churches in Detroit that seat 8,000 people.
Right.
Yeah.
Second of all, they were all white.
Thank you. But this is the
All
other
the
thing is
audience
they just
was
cite
white.
crowd numbers that Trump says that are clearly insane like that. Right. And they're mostly white people. I mean, it's all smoke and mirrors, Charlie. And it's just, once again, as you always talk about, it's just the media. We just apparently can't count on the media.
I mean, we had a great example. I don't know if you've addressed this already today, but there was a great example in the New York Times where they wrote a piece about Biden campaign strategies, and they said that the Biden campaign was trying to paint Trump as a convicted felon. He is one.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, and by the way, you did a great piece on that. You were talking about another piece. You said the New York Times and I are going to have to disagree on the January 6th defendants. You were talking about Linda Kistler's essay, New York Times essay. And you said, I think the solutions she recommends are a shortcut to chaos and permanent disruption. You said, maybe I'm just less evolved than she is, but these people got themselves into trouble with their eyes wide open. You said there were no nonviolent offenders because in one way or another, they took part in or took advantage of the worst political violence in the United States. This is, this trying to humanize the January 6th defendants, right? Kind of
the grandmas.
Right.
The grandpas and grandmas who have FBI SWAT teams jumping in their, attic windows or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sure some of them were. And I'm sure some of them are lovely people who, bake cookies for the library fundraiser and stuff like that. But as soon as they stepped over the threshold that day, they broke the friggin' law.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah. But your larger point, as you do, let me read you to you. I don't do this for you, but for other people. You just said...
Oh, you can do it for me. You can do it just for me. That's fine.
The foundations of the law seem to be holding firm through January 6 trials. Congress has never passed any laws of oblivion from which we can all be grateful. However, we've become very good at enforcing them de facto. The pardoning of Richard Nixon is a grotesque example. We have memory hold most of Iran-Contra, the crimes of George H.W. Bush, the ghastly lies of his warmongering son. This is partly how we ended up with the former president in the first place. Our universe of oblivion has grown too vast. I mean, Charlie, you're correct. Either there's a rule of law or there's not. Right? And it's just, the memory holding of January 6th is one of the, elements of this election.
I didn't mention this, but it occurred to me after I sent the post in that ridiculous Department of Justice memo, which essentially bestows immunity on a president while he's in office. That's stupid. That's got to go.
Yeah.
That's an open invitation.
Thank you. Yes.
For crimes in office.
Thank you. So so new polling raises concerns for Trump following his recent felony convictions. One would hope in a normal world. 21% of independent voters say the conviction made them less likely to support Trump. His criminal record would be an important factor in their vote. A sizable number, 46%, agree the conviction was a result of a fair and impartial judicial process. 51% rejected Trump's claims the prosecution was brought to help Biden's reelection, while less than a third, 29%, believe the president was directly involved. Well, that's because he wasn't. It's just, this is the thing, is polling on what people believe. And what are actual facts seems to be the whole crux of this election, Charlie.
Yeah, and this is one of the three great principles of Idiot America, which was anything can be true as long as somebody says it loudly enough and on television.
Yeah.
No, that's this. What's going under the radar a little bit is the embarrassing ass kissing going on. Can I say ass kissing?
Yes.
You did.
Yes.
You just did.
Thank you very much.
As long as it's my ass, you're kissing. What? Just kidding. Go ahead.
I don't even want. I know. I need to get that out.
Okay.
Fell out my other ear. The ass kissing contest for vice president.
Mm-hmm.
These people, I swear to God, when they're 80 years old, they're going to look back on these 2 years and be ashamed. Be completely ashamed of themselves.
Well, by the
time they're 80, they will have accrued some.
Yeah, I was just about to bring up the Veep stakes with you. A CNN panel contended Trump will only accept a VP who has absolutely no will of their own, who will allow themselves to be humiliated on his behalf. He learned his lesson with Mike Pence. He thought he found someone who was deferential, who was subordinated, but at the last moment, Pence shows some integrity, some constitutional loyalty, and for that, he was nearly killed. They went on to say you can trust a Tim Scott because he's a zero. You can trust Marco Rubio because he's spiritually broken. So I think he's going to look for one of those more negligible human beings. You wrote a piece about Tom Cotton's thirsting for the vice presidency. You said he's a very thirsty fellow. He's clearly thirsting after the VP nominations, campaigning for it on the basis of his willingness to bring actual violence in the service of Trump's darkest hallucinations. Yeah, I mean,
Tom Cotton will kill people to be vice president.
Yes.
Yes. Well,
He will arrange for the death of people so he can be vice president. I think he's going to go with Doug Burgum, to be honest with you.
do you
Really?
really? Just
And
for his
I think
electric
for
personality?
the shallowest possible reason. The guy looks like a vice president.
Wow,
Really?
interesting. And also, he has no,
He has Bergmentum.
Principles?
charisma at all. So he's like,
Bergmentum. He's got Bergmentum.
well, yeah, we had Bergmentum going for a while. What? But yeah, you bring up that Cotton described left-wing protesters as street militias who have not been prosecuted enough. He previously had suggested protesters blocking a bridge should be tossed over the side of the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
The military should help clear college campuses during recent protests. He suggested using the military to suppress the George Floyd protests. On and on. You're right. He's a dark mother. So I know that I would think would attract Trump to him, but who knows?
He's also a bobble-footed slapdick.
Yes, he
yes,
is.
yes. Thank you for that. I love that description. What about J.D. Vance? Because didn't we seem to think that was
I think that's the one because it's one syllable and it fits under his name.
Although there's
Trump Vance.
there's too many
Trump
things
Vance.
they can use that he said in the past, like Trump being Hitler, that would seem to be.
Oh, they don't care.
Yeah, I think
they
he's
don't
got-
care at all.
I think J.D. Vance may well be too thirsty.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's gonna that sooner or later, Trump's gonna look at him and say, "Hey, this guy's been building his own power base,"
Yeah.
and then Trump will have Tom Cotton kill him.
Oh, Charlie's gone dark too.
Yeah,
All
wow.
right. Well, we love you, Charlie. We don't want to take away from your.
Listen, have a great time in the Mile High City.
We will, and we don't want to
Bye,
take away from your time. Using your time booking Senator Warren for Boston. So
Is,
we're gonna.
Is it true that Glenn Kirshner is flying all the way to Denver?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he is. He is a patriot.
What a guy, huh?
I know, and he's doing Boston with you. So we're very, very
Well, I
excited.
knew that. Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's just a train ride. I don't have a problem with that. But flying to Denver,
I know.
the
I
damn
know.
airport that's like 90 miles from the city.
I know.
I know,
He's,
it's
our
so far.
hero. Yeah, particularly.
Did they have all of you sharing a one-room cabin in the Rockies or what?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're staying in Grand Junction. It'll be a nice
Yeah.
drive into the city.
Yeah. No running water. Okay. Love you.
Well,
Goodbye.
the last time we
See
were
you
in
later.
Denver, we stayed in Boulder and then drove to Denver without using highways.
with the GPS set to the wrong setting.
Yeah.
Not to use highways. Okay. Love you, Charlie. Goodbye.
Thanks, Charlie.
Yeah, of course, the word highway has an entirely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's in Colorado.
Hey.
Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. I hope you'll join me on my new audio podcast, Justice Matters. I'll be using my 30 years as a federal prosecutor and Army JAG to unpack, break down, and explain the legal issues of the day, particularly where the legal intersects with the political. Please look for Justice Matters with Glenn Kirshner wherever you generally get your podcasts.